go live now. Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the 2022 WriteMentor Children's Novel and Picture Book Awards ceremony. I'm Stuart White. I'm going to be the host for the evening, but I will try to be off screen as much as possible because tonight we're here to celebrate the talent, hard work, and incredible stories that have been written by our 12 shortlisted writers. It's been months and months of reading and hard work and so on that have gone into the awards, and it's culminating in this ceremony tonight. So I'm very excited to be here, and I know our agent judges, Lydia and Claire, are both very excited as well to talk a little bit about what they found when they read the shortlisted novels, and obviously then to announce the winners a little bit later on. We had 1,000 entries or thereabouts initially, and we've managed to get down to a final 12. So hopefully that's a reflection of the standard of those who are with us tonight and the work that they've produced. So we're live both in Zoom, and I've got the shortlisted writers and the judges with me here, but we're also streaming via YouTube, and that's to enable all of the friends and family of everyone involved to watch and enjoy the ceremony alongside us. So a warm welcome, obviously, to everyone who's doing so at the moment. We'll obviously announce the winners in due course at the appropriate time in the programme, but initially we're going to hear a little bit from some of our talented writers, and they're going to read a short extract from the texts or novels that got them onto the shortlist. So I'm very excited about this next part. So we're going to start off, first of all, with the Picture Book Award, and we're going to start off with the author of Dragon Soup. So if you'd like to pop on screen with your camera, I will disappear and allow you to read your short extract. Good luck.
Well, thanks, Stuart. Okay. Gather round, you lot. It's time for a quest, said Arthur. We're going to make dragon soup. The knights danced and cheered. Are you sure this is a good idea? Asked Thomas. The knights groaned. You're always complaining, said Arthur. This will be easy peasy. The knights set off at once to the land of dragons, across lush fields, over raging rivers, around swamps and through forests until... How will we find a dragon here? Asked Thomas, looking around the bare dragon lands. Gooey, over here, came a loud voice. See, told you it would be easy, said Arthur, pointing at the waving dragon. Prepare for battle. Thomas gulped. We'll never defeat that. She's enormous. Arthur rolled his eyes and drew his sword with a swoosh. My, that is a sharp-looking sword. You've got me beat fair and square, said Dragon, holding up her hands. See, easy peasy, said Arthur. Tie her up. And that's the 4 spreads.
Thanks very much, Darren. That was brilliant. We're off to a storming start there with 4 brilliant opening spreads from Darren there with his text, Dragon Soup. Next up, we have got the author of Go to Bed, Ted, if you'd like to pop on. Hi, Nicola.
Hi.
Best of luck. I hope it goes well.
Thank you. Okay, this is Go to Bed, Ted. Henry hated bedtime. He would grumble every night. The silence and the loneliness, they gave him such a fright. He'd ask for 7 stories and a lullaby or 2, a bedtime snack, a milky drink, and 5 trips to the loo. But things began to change one night when Mum came home from town and handed him a teddy with a stripy cap and gown. I bought the sleepy bear today. He needs a place to stay. He'll lie beside you every night and make sure you're okay. So Henry clambered into bed. He tossed, he turned, he sighed. I still can't sleep, he mumbled, though he hadn't really tried. He wriggled underneath the sheets, but something tapped his head. Hello, my name is Theodore, but you can call me Ted. Okay, I'll stop there.
Well, thanks, Nicola. That was really nice and comforting. I think that's the kind of text that my daughter would love. She's at that stage just now as well, where she hugs something in bed at night. Okay, well done. Next up, we've got the author of Jemima and the Pirates. Everyone loves a good pirate text. Hi, Anne.
Yeah. Where's it gone?
Whenever you're ready, I'll pop
There
off.
it is. Right. Jemima and the Pirates. Jemima loved to look and learn, to test things out and try. Curious and clever, she was always asking why. A seaside trip meant thrilling things to seek out and explore, fish to follow, crabs to catch, a ship to sail to shore. Don't go out too far, Jemima. Stay close to the beach. Why? She wondered idly as she drifted out of reach. She shivered as a shadow fell, then turned and saw a boat. Suddenly, a hand appeared and plucked her from her float. A chidling. Oh, how yumsome. Let's eat it spread on toast. No, don't be daft. Let's save it up and have a Sunday roast. The pirates drooled and slobbered at the thought of such a feast. Jemima tried to calm herself. I'm still alive, at least. Escaping seemed impossible. They're far too big and strong. I'm sure today is Thursday. That doesn't give me long. I cannot hide. I cannot fight. I won't get far by running. I'll have to bide my time and hope to beat them with my cunning. Later that same evening, oozing fumes of gruesome grog, a pirate bellowed, "What's your name? It's for the captain's log." Jemima told him quickly, adding, "I don't mean to pry, but pirates all have parrots. Could you kindly tell me why?"
Thank you, Anne. That was brilliant. Everyone always loves a pirate story. Again, my daughter's really into those. And I've got a few pirate jokes, but I think I'll save you the discomfort of listening to those in the middle of this. If anyone wants to hear them, you can ask me later on. Okay, next up, we have got The Helpful Elf, if the author of that would come on. Hi, Claire, how are you doing?
I apologise in advance how unseasonal this is.
No, that's fine. Just whenever you're ready.
Santa's keenest worker was an eager elf called Belle. She wanted to be helpful, but things never turned out well. Her thoughts would drift away, and all the parts got in a muddle. Her fearsome fighting T-Rex toys kept asking for a cuddle. Meanwhile, her dainty Daisy dolls let out a mighty roar. "Don't worry," Santa boomed. "We'll find a job that suits you more. I'm wondering if possibly your talents lie elsewhere. Perhaps there's something else for which you have a hidden flair." "Inventions," answered Belle, "like this machine I've engineered, with automatic scissors that can prune a bushy beard." Belle's clip-o-matic snipped and clipped, then clipped and snipped some more. "Oh no," cried Belle, "it's trimmed too much, your beard is on the floor. I'm not a real inventor, all I do is make mistakes." "But that means," Santa said, "you've got precisely what it takes. Now think about what didn't work and try to find out why. But don't give up if things go wrong, just have another try." So Belle dismantled her machine, then tinkered, tweaked and twiddled. She tightened this and loosened that. She fumbled, fussed and fiddled. "It's hopeless. I give up," she huffed. "It should have worked by now. This little spring makes things go wrong. I just can't work out how." Just then a message elf arrived. "Belle to the stables, please." "Aha," boomed Santa. "Glad you're here. I'd like your help with these." That's it.
Wonderful, Claire. That was really nice. And I love that you got the lights in as well on your Zoom background. Very, very appropriate. Superb. I think we're off to a really good start. I've absolutely loved those first four. Next up, we've got The Magic in Ming's Hands. Hi, Maureen.
Hello.
Just whenever you're ready, I'll pop off.
Sure. Hello. Everyone in Ming's family has magical hands. Everyone but Ming. Pa's hands are as strong as stalks of bamboo. His hands bake the bounciest buttery buns and the most tantalizing taste bud tickling tarts in all of the town. Pa's hands are so magical, they're famous. But when Ming tries to help, he spills the powdery flour and drops the pillowy dough. "Oh, your hands will bake magic when they're bigger," laughs Pa. Ma's hands are as graceful as a fantail goldfish. Her hands sew dreamy dresses that dance and smart shirts that strut. Ma's clothes are always the talk of the town. But when Ming tries to help, he tangles the threads and pricks his thumb. "Oh, your hands will weave magic when they've had more practice," soothes Ma. Pawpaw's hands are as skillful as those of a master potter. Her hands shape savory, sticky dumplings and stir silky soup desserts. Pawpaw's hands make the best magic, especially when Ming is hungry, and he's always hungry. But when Ming tries to help, he topples over the bamboo steamer and tips the mung beans into the sink. Oh, your hands will cook magic when you're older, comforts Pawpaw. Poor Ming. His hands have wriggly fingers and dimples for knuckles, but they can't do anything magical. Ming doesn't like his hands at all.
Oh, that was wonderful, and poor Ming, indeed. I'm really rooting for him already. That was excellent. Thanks very much, Maureen. The next entry that we've got is a pre-record. So I've got the video, and I'm just praying to the tech gods that everything works smoothly as I play this just now. So this one is called the Seashell Witch, and I'll pop that up just now. The tech gods were not looking down favourably upon me, it seems. Someone just informed me you couldn't hear that. So let me try and get it right this time. Fingers crossed.
Squash and squish and squeeze. Hello, I'm Josie, and my story is called The Seashell Switch. In swirling seas near Cocoa Bay, a crab called Harry loves to play. He lives inside a sea snail shell and bobs along upon the swell. He shares his days with best friend Bee, a brave and bold anemone. With tentacles that swipe and swish, she keeps him safe from fearsome fish. But Harry's shell is getting tight. It really is a sorry sight. He has to squash and squish and squeeze. It only reaches to his knees. When moonlight shines on Cocoa Bay, the Seashell Switch gets underway. The time has come to find a shell that's big enough for you to dwell. But I don't want to go ashore. I've never left the sea before. I'll have to go out in the air. I'll have to be completely bare. Oh, Harry, please don't look so sad. Perhaps it will not be that bad. You'll find a home that's warm and snug to hold you like a gentle hug. But Harry does not want to go. I'll be the smallest at the show. I'll find a shell another way, and with a splash he casts away. With best friend Bee right by his side, he trawls the seafloor far and wide. And there before his very eyes are shells of every shape and size. He clacks his claws in sheer delight. I'll pick the shell that looks just right. He chooses one and peers inside. It is the perfect place to hide, but... And I'll stop there. Thank you.
Okay, hopefully I got the thumbs up from a couple of people that we could hear at that time. So hopefully that one was enjoyable for all of you too. So that brings us to the end of the readings for the picture book authors, and I've got to say they were absolutely cracking, and also especially good to hear them read from the author's voice as well. You get a lot more sense of the person behind the text, obviously, as they do that. So well done for being brave and for reading publicly and live like that. I'm very impressed with all of you. Now we are going to hand over. It's the moment of truth for the picture book authors. We're going to hand over to Lydia and Claire, who are going to come on and give us a little bit of their insights into their judging process for the picture books, and then announce our picture book winner as well. So Lydia and Claire, if you are free, hopefully the band have stopped playing behind you.
Well, I wouldn't rely on it too closely. But thank you so much. It's so great to be here, and it was lovely to hear everyone read out their entries. I feel like picture books really come to life when you hear them out loud, and it really, interestingly, we were both saying it kind of, we'd made our choices and they were difficult but unanimous choices, but hearing them we were like, yeah, it really kind of resonated with us. Yeah.
And just, I mean, huge congratulations, anybody, to everybody on the shortlist. It was just amazing to hear the authors read their own work. It was a real treat, and also really brave. So yeah, thank you for that. It was wonderful. So should we talk a little bit generally?
So we loved seeing the range of picture books here. It was really nice seeing a real mix of things from different themes and different tones, but also, a mixture of prose and of rhyme. It really felt like there was a book here for every child, which is really important and really lovely.
Yeah, it was wonderful to have different voices, different themes and settings. Yeah, it was an absolute joy. And there was some kind of specific things that we were probably looking for or more mindful about. So we're always looking for a voice that's distinctive, that would stand out amongst the voices that are already out there. We're always looking for originality, new ways in, new takes on stories. We're both always looking for a strong narrative, and actually it's one of the things we get probably feedback from editors on more than anything else, is they ask for more narrative or a stronger narrative arc within picture book text. So it's super important, and with that, of course, you hope for a satisfying ending. Memorable characters, always character first.
Definitely. And I'd say the other thing that we're really looking for is a sense of something unexpected, or a sense of something we've not quite seen before, or that's being told in a slightly different way. I feel like when we see that in a picture book, it really makes us stand up, because that's what's going to stand out to editors. So we've got two runners up and a winner, and we start with the runners up. So our first runner up is Dragon Soup, which we loved. I mean, I love a concept where the reader gets to feel smarter than the characters. That really appeals to me, and I liked that we had so many different levels of that in this story. So you could feel smarter than the original knights, you feel smarter than the focus knight, you can feel smarter than the dragon if you wanted. It's really fun seeing the story work on different levels. I also love a story that lets us side with a villain, and in some ways at least you got to do that in this story. And I just personally, I love humor, I love character. I felt like the dragon in particular really shone through here, and I really enjoyed it.
Okay, and runner-up number 2 was Jemima and the Pirates. So for us, we both absolutely love the energy in this text, love the humour, so important in picture books. It had a really full plot with a satisfying ending. And also what was really interesting here was I just thought there were some really lovely themes that had been handled with a very nice light touch. So there's lovely ideas in here about being heard and the importance of listening. And again, one of the things that editors are saying to us a lot at the moment is, what is the purpose of this text? What's the reader getting? What's the need for this text? What's the reader getting for it? How can the parent use this text to talk about something? And this was a brilliant story. It worked completely on its own as a story, had a lovely way and a lovely springboard to start talking about some of these themes and ideas as well.
And then finally, our winner. So we were unanimous about this one, and listening to it being read out loud, we were just like, yes, we really agree with our choice. We loved it. And so our winner is The Magic in Ming's Hands. We loved this.
It was beautiful.
Absolutely gorgeous. Everything about it. I love the different relationships within it, between all of the different characters, from the intergenerational relationship with the granddad and Ming, but also the parents as well. Some beautiful lyrical language and imagery that really shone through. And I thought it handled quite difficult themes, but with a gorgeously light touch, just with a lot of heart.
Absolutely, just completely beautiful. Both of us swept up in the language. And actually, when we heard it being read aloud, I think, it was beautiful when we were reading it, but actually it was extra special hearing it read to us. So yeah, massive congratulations to Maureen. It's a triumph.
Yeah, well done, Maureen. Do you want to come on, Maureen? You might not want to. You might be dancing around the room, or how are you doing?
No, it's 2:30 in Hong Kong at the moment in the morning, and I should be asleep. And I'm extremely overwhelmed. Thank you so much. I'm sorry, I'm just extremely emotional right now because it's thank you so much, Stuart. Thank you so much, Lydia and Claire. It's been an absolute pleasure listening to everybody's stories and to being part of this. I know the last 2 years have been so difficult for so many of us. And I think what I really wanted to write about when I wrote the story was really about what's important is who we love and how we love them. And I think that was the real reason behind writing this story, which I'm so glad has touched you. And yes, I will probably have a drink at some point, but I'll probably have to wait till the sun comes up and sets a little bit higher first before I can do that. But thank you very much for giving me this honor. It really is an honor. And I'll stop now.
Well done, Maureen. I'm amazed that you managed to get all the words out there. Well done. And yeah, you certainly deserve to go and have I don't know if you'll be able to sleep after that, but certainly if it's 2:30 in the morning, you might want to quite soon. Okay, well done though to all the picture book shortlisted authors there. That was brilliant. I really enjoyed listening to all of your readings, and obviously special congratulations to Maureen on winning. Now we're going to take a short break just now, just for a few minutes, and then when we come back, we'll focus on the novel side of the awards. Okay, so just a couple of minutes, folks, and then when I'm back on screen, we'll go again for the second half. Hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you managed to get yourselves a little break there before we commence in part two. I'm sure you'll agree that part one was brilliant and very emotional there as well at the end. And well done again to everyone involved in the picture book shortlist. For the second half of the award ceremony tonight, we're going to be focusing on the novelists. Again, we've got 6 on our shortlist for the novelists, and each of them is also going to read a short extract from the opening of their novel as well. And similar to the first half, once they have done that, we'll hear a little bit from the judges, and we'll obviously then announce our winner for that award at that time. Okay, so I'm hoping everyone is back from their break and we can get started on the second half of the readings. So we're going to start off with, actually the first one is also a pre-record, so fingers crossed, and remember to press the sound button this time, and the tech gods are shining brightly upon us.
Edison and the Impossible Invention. The hedge quivered. Strange. Hedges don't usually do that sort of thing. I peered down from my perch in the apple tree, and I saw something odd pointing in my direction. It looked like a pair of binoculars and a tuft of blonde hair. Could it be my next-door neighbour nemesis, Daisy Armitage? "Is that you, Daisy?" I said. The hedge was silent. Usually, Daisy doesn't stop talking. Stuff like, "My house is so much bigger than yours," or "I've got a pony. Have you got a pony, Edie Edison?" What was she up to? It was putting me off thinking of an idea for the Inventions Fair. Usually, ideas pop into my head like popcorn in a microwave. Not that day. My best friend Naveed was coming over later, and I wanted his help. Naveed is super clever and nuts about long words, not inventions. But he's a handy assistant. Every inventor should have one. Just then, Mum came into the garden and started to pick up clothes on the washing line. It was taking her ages because she kept on stopping and rubbing her back. She's going to have a baby soon, and her tummy is about the size of a small mountain. As I watched her, something amazing happened in my brain. Electricity sparked, a neuron fired. Bing! I had an invention idea, hooray! I needed to write it down super quick before it pinged out again.
Oh, wonderful. That was really, really good. Thanks for sharing that one with us. And as we progress through, the next ones are all live, so fingers crossed you won't have to rely upon my adequacy with sharing on Zoom. So next up, we have George Ivey and the Emperor of Absolutely Everything. That's a corker of a title.
Just my text is not much better, so I hope this goes well.
Right, good luck, Jack.
Like all good stories, it started with a wibbly thing. It ended with a ridiculous battle on a planet 6 billion light years from Earth. And somewhere between that and the wibbly thing, there were alien invasions and space pirates and evil computers and eviler people and brain-sucking monsters and wildly insulting vending machines. Oh, and a chicken. That was the weirdest part. Anyway, look, we'll get to all that later. For now, let's talk about the wibbly thing. I was lying in a tent in my garden with my head poking out the door, staring up at the July night sky with the telescope Mum had got me for my birthday. She was right next to me. Mum, I mean. "You didn't have to stay in the tent," I said. "You won't even know I'm here," she said, eyes on her book. But clearly that's not true because I'm talking to you, aren't I? "Just concentrate on your satellites, George." "Space stations, Mum, space stations. Totally different thing." "Sure, darling." I said something inside my head that would have made Mum throw the book at me. I mean, literally, she would have thrown her book at me. Thanks, everyone, and good luck.
Thanks, Jack. Love that. Great voice. Really engaging opening. Well done. Next up, we have the author of Hope Floats Like a Feather. Hi, Laura.
Hello.
Best of luck. Just go when you're ready.
Hope floats like a feather. The social worker knocked on the door of flat 13 and I crossed my fingers. Maybe Gran isn't expecting us after all, or maybe she is wishing that we would just go away. Gran hasn't wanted to see me for the last 12 years, or Mum. Would it bother her if we did? There is a rattling noise, and slowly the door creaks open, just a crack. But I can't see who's standing behind it. Hello, it's Angela Dawson, Mrs. Taylor. We spoke on the phone. I brought your granddaughter, Ada. I notice that she shoves her foot into the gap in the doorway, and she says this so that it won't close again. Hang on, I wasn't expecting you till 3 o'clock. We agreed you would be here at 3. The door opens, and I'm looking at my gran for the first time. But she doesn't look at me. Her hair is grey and short, and she's wearing navy trousers and a pale blue blouse with a name badge that says Sandra Taylor. I look at her face, searching for a bit of Mum. I'm sorry, Mrs. Taylor, I've had to bring her early. I thought someone would have phoned to let you know. Angela Dawson steps past Gran and into the flat before she can change her mind about letting us in. Gran follows her down the hallway, and I am left standing all alone with my suitcase. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Laura. That was wonderful. Well done. And yeah, I think we could all feel the emotion in the opening of that story. Next up, we have the author of If We Tell You. Hi, Nicola.
Hi.
Whenever you're ready, off you go. Good luck.
Thanks. If We Tell You, Chapter 1. Cameron would accuse me of overreacting, but being on the train didn't mean we were safe. Panicking was the logical thing to do. I'd been perched on the edge of my seat since Glasgow, rucksack on my knee, red emergency brake above my head. Beyond my window reflection, fields and lonely villages whizzed by. And sheep, lots of sheep. 5 hours of fields and villages and sheep. But now there were towns running into each other, hemming in the railway track, blocking out the darkening sky. We were almost in London. We were out of time and I needed to calm down and work through solutions to the most obvious worst-case scenarios. This day was like a maths problem, I told myself, a random collection of constants and variables that were somehow connected. And I was good at maths, although I preferred theoretical problems that required calculators and where you didn't die if you took too long to solve them. We'd almost died today. If I didn't work out why, it could happen again. Our train slowed, then rocked into London, shunting from one track to another as it navigated its way into King's Cross Station. The woman opposite gave up pretending to knit and shoved needles and wool into a bag at her feet. Across the aisle, the tweed-capped man closed his book. It had been open at the same page since Leeds. 6 rows in front, Cameron turned to check I was ready. Stick together, but stay apart, Dad had said. Identical twins are memorable. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Nicola. That was really excellent. I really enjoyed the voice, and you even got a mention of Glasgow in there.
Yeah.
Good to represent. Okay, thanks, Nicola. Next up, we have the author of The Music Weaver's Call. Hiya, how you doing?
Good, thanks.
Good. Just whenever you're ready, best of luck.
The Music Weaver's Call, Chapter 1, Guardian of the Lake. There was something wrong with the Kelpie. Hunger blazed in its purple eyes, but it didn't want food. It wanted Finta. Its hoof clacked against the cobblestones, water flowing from its seaweed mane. Its tail flicked as saliva dripped from its open jaws, stinking of the depths of the lake it had climbed from. Fangs framed its wicked grin as it took another step towards her. Finta stood her ground. She wasn't afraid of wolf-mouthed lake horses, no matter how many children they'd stolen. The faintest click of claws on stone told her Skjo stalked the shadows, keeping a perimeter. Ready, Finta knew, to leap to her defense if needed. It wouldn't be needed. Kelpies were easy. Dangerous, sure. All the Behialta were. That's why there were deep, ancient laws in the land of Eri, to keep those magical creatures in check, as well as the people. It was also why the villagers had paid her to send this magical water horse back to its lake and get their children back. Because Finta wasn't a normal 12-year-old. That was one of the only things she could remember about herself. Banishing an out-of-control lake guardian wouldn't take her long. She'd guaranteed it. It's why she got to charge so much.
Oh, wonderful. I really, really enjoyed that. What a description of the Kelpie at the start. That was terrifying. And a lovely voice for your main character too. Well done. Next up, we have the author of The Playground Dwellers.
Hi.
Hiya.
Hi.
I'll just pop off. Just go when you're ready, and best of luck.
Thank you. Playground Dwellers, Chapter 1. Right beside the lake in Kensington Gardens is a funny-looking statue of Peter Pan. I've always thought it looked like a short-haired girl in a weird dress rather than an 8-year-old boy in a nightshirt. I say always, but I only noticed it for the first time in May when we came here for a picnic with Mum and Dad. We didn't know it at the time, but that was our last picnic as a family. So here we are again, Edie and me, sitting on a park bench opposite the Peter Pan statue. Only this time, we're waiting for a boy to arrive. Not just any boy, obviously, but I wouldn't tell you his name even if I knew it. We'd never see him again if I did. It's just after 6 a.m. and the bench is damp with dew, but that doesn't bother us. I'm shivering, as much as from anticipation as from the cold, and it's still dark, so we have a torch that Edie points towards the trees every time we hear the rustle of leaves or twigs snapping on the ground. Nothing yet. I don't know if you know Kensington Gardens. From about 10 o'clock each day, especially in the summer, it's rammed full of tourists. They pose by the statues, gaze at swans gliding across the lake, and just like we did in May, they have picnics on the grass. When it gets dark, they clear out and the park gets locked for the night. Right now, though, it's completely empty because, well, no one wants to go for a walk at 6 o'clock in the morning, however pretty it is. But in a way, that made it harder for us to come in unseen. I mean, it's easier to get lost in crowds than in an empty park, right? Thank you.
Thank you. That was excellent. Again, really nice setting of the atmosphere there, and lots of intrigue as to why they're in the park and what's happened. So yeah, brilliant. Well done.
Thanks.
Oh, those were so good. And again, the additional impact that the stories have when the authors are reading them is something else. And I'm so glad we had the opportunity to hear you read your stories tonight. So without further ado, I think we're at the stage where we're going to ask our agent judges to jump back on and give us a little bit of their insights into what they thought of the stories, and then announce those who are the fortunate ones and are the runners-up and winners at the end. Okay, thanks.
Again, thank you so much. Huge congratulations to everybody on the shortlist. And again, it's such a pleasure to hear you read your own work. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's really lovely for us. So thank you. There was so much we liked here. Again, it was great to have a variety of age range and genre. It was such a pleasure to see humour, thrills, secrets, magic, contemporary voices, wibbly things. Everything was very different. And because of that, it made this decision harder because they were all so different, and we're judging lots of age ranges within the same bracket. But again, having said that, Lydia and I were unanimous. We didn't fight this one out. No. So
I mean, like Claire says, they were all so different, but we were kind of looking for the same thing within them. Again, similarly to picture books, we are always looking for voice. I think that is the sort of thing, and all of these have it. It bursts out in spades. That's what you're looking for. We were also looking for kind of characters that really felt real. I love a character that feels like they could step off the page and I'd know how they'd react in completely different circumstances to what's actually in the text. I think a really strong core character, the book kind of falls into place around it. So we were looking for voice, we were looking for kind of the writing style, we were looking for the character. But the other thing that I think is worth saying is we can't turn off the part of us that are agents. So to an extent, we were reading it with a slight market eye, thinking about what feels different here, what would have a place actually out there on shelves. Is it doing something new? Is it going to stand out? Or is it a very clear space for it over here? So we were looking at it not just as this is a beautiful, brilliant piece of writing, because I think all of them were, but also looking what would we want to stick our necks out for? What would we say, yes, this should be a book?
And so first runner-up was Dramatic Pause. If we tell you, I am a huge Teen YA fan, and we talked about this, but I just thought, what an incredible premise. You've got identical twins who are having to be the same person. The stakes are so high, the voices are so strong, and both boys were so distinctive and beautifully realised. And again, both boys felt real. I absolutely believed in both of them. And it was a really, really compelling read. I was drawn in immediately. So congratulations, Nicola.
So our second runner-up was George Ivy and the Emperor of Absolutely Everything. I mean, I loved this from the title alone. It's such a great title, and that opening passage is just incredible. It's so voicey, it's so funny. You know exactly what sort of story you're getting, and you want to read it. I love kind of slightly offbeat humor. I really do have a place in my heart for good sci-fi, and this really felt like it ticked a lot of boxes there. And it was great to see something that clearly was dealing with kind of deeper conversations and deeper relationships, but handling it with humor. I think that's really hard to do, and this just really did it. And again, George was like, yeah, I know how he would be if we went camping together. I know what he'd be like if he found a wibbly thing in the pond, but I also know what he'd be like at school. He felt very real. So congratulations, Jack. That was brilliant. And then our winner was, it was The Music Weaver's Call. We loved this one. We thought that the voice was just outstanding, and there's some incredible writing. That very first line, it's simple, it's clear, but it drags you right in, and you know exactly where you are from the get-go.
It was so atmospheric. There's such a clear sense of place here. The voice is just there. It's brilliantly immediate. You're in the story. There's an inciting incident, but you're never lost in the world. We both agreed, extremely strong start, and just some of the lines were just absolutely stunning. So again, a very, very compelling, brilliantly realised piece of writing.
And we also thought that it was lovely that it wasn't, I think we get a lot of stuff that feels kind of London set or very local. This felt so specifically Irish, and that kind of built into its entire world. It wasn't just that it was set there, but that was the whole world around it, and it felt so solid. I can imagine kind of walking around there and knowing what our lives would be like. So
congratulations.
We loved it.
Yeah, well done. Aoife, do you want to come on? You don't have to if you're feeling emotional or you don't feel like you want to talk, but how are you?
Definitely feeling emotional. I was not expecting that, but that is delightful. Thank you so much. That I'm buffering. That is absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much. Everything you're saying there is fantastic, and that especially that you're like seeing the Irishness as a positive and like a standout positive means so much, because that book is like fully inspired by like my love of the west of Ireland and Irish mythology and folklore. Like it lives and breathes it, and like the Irish language is woven through it. Like any name that isn't taken directly from and like altered slightly from the mythology is just Gaeilge. And like in the opening there, the word Behi Alta, the name that's the umbrella name for all the magical creatures, that is just Irish for wild creature, wild beast technically. And this has just been the little story that could. I can't believe it's won this. This is ridiculous. But like it's gone through so much, and we've been through so much together with lockdown and everything. And it was the book I wrote when my first book didn't get picked up. So it came from heartbreak, and it's gone through so much. It's all about like learning to trust in love by trusting yourself. And I'm so touched that it's gotten this far. Thank you so much.
Oh, that's wonderful, and it's really nice to see how much it means to you, and obviously thoroughly deserved. The judges said they were unanimous on that, so well done.
Yeah. It's going to take a while for that to hit.
I'm sure it will.
Obviously, everyone else, they were all fantastic. I want to read everything that was read out today. If anyone needs a CP, I volunteer.
Yeah, hard agree. Really, really strong sets of openings there from everyone that read on the shortlist. And so, yeah, thanks obviously to everyone involved tonight, to those who were shortlisted and read out, to our agent judges, Lydia and Claire, who gave some great summaries there of what it was like and the insights into judging it, but also obviously decided upon our runners-up and winners. As you know, I'll be in touch with you all regarding the next stage once you've had a day or so to let the nerves or the joy or the disappointment or whatever calm down a little bit, and we'll talk further about this. But yeah, I'd just like to say thanks to everyone involved. That's from our agent judges and our shortlisted writers, but then all the way down to our readers in the initial couple of rounds, everyone involved in the admin team as well, helping out backstage and making sure things run smoothly and that everything is taken care of. We've got a great team, and obviously that helps to produce a competition which has such a high standard here at the very end. So obviously congratulations to everyone involved, specifically to the winners though, and thanks again to our agents for jumping on and announcing our winners tonight. I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Thanks very much for joining us, and I hopefully will speak to